Hey little friend, today we continue our journey to the galaxy, where starlight hums like lullabies and forgotten worlds drift in the quiet between constellations. Already, the void trembles with secrets unspoken. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And tell me in the comments where you are and what time it is, because somewhere right now, another dreamer is gazing upward too. You float beyond the safe lanes of charted stars. Guided only by a strange pulse, you intercepted a rhythm like a heartbeat buried in cosmic static. It wasn't a message, at least not in words, but a feeling urging you to follow. Your ship's dashboard flickers with warnings, though none identify the threat. It's as if the universe itself prefers you didn't know. Yet curiosity tugs harder than fear. Who could resist the whisper of something that should not exist? A string of coordinates appears on your screen, corrosive to logic. They point to an unlisted region, a void where no planet is registered. A glitch, your onboard AI mutters nervously, for once unsure. You joke that maybe it's just a lonely star craving attention. But the silence afterward isn't amused. Something out there is waiting, patient as stone dot as you enter the designated quadrant. Reality thins. Constellations warp, rearranging themselves like they're pretending innocence. Space becomes colder, denser as though you're trespassing into memory rather than matter. Then, through the cockpit glass, you glimpse it. A planet, unlit, unspinning, as if ashamed to shine. Its surface is bruised with storms frozen mid-swell. No beacon, no rings, no orbit. It simply exists, defiantly, like a forgotten thought. Your scanners fail to read it. No atmosphere, no core heat, no history. Yet the signal pulses brighter, like a beckoning finger. A flicker crosses the surface, impossible to tell if it's lightning or something watching. You feel it then, a pressure behind your eyes. Not pain, but recognition. You shouldn't know this place, yet you do. A name forms at the edge of memory, a name you've never learned. You reach out, fingertips grazing the glass, and swear you hear a voice. Faint as dust, you remember us. For a heartbeat, your reflection vanishes from the window. Someone else is standing in your place. Someone older. You swallow hard. The forgotten planet waits. And you, foolish, brave, begin descent. The planet's atmosphere greets you with silence, no roar of entry. No blaze of friction, just a dense, violet haze that swallows your ship whole, like drifting into an ancient dream. Gravity takes hold gently, almost politely, as though it remembers how to welcome travelers from ages past. But the calm is unsettling, like walking into a room where someone has just left. The world below is shrouded in cloud spirals, unmoving, frozen mid-twist, as though time here gave up halfway through a breath. Your AI sputters, voice thin with static. No wind, no particulate movement. This storm isn't moving. You manage a shaky joke. Well, at least I won't need a weather report. But even that falls flat. Humor, it seems, doesn't echo here. Then you see it. A shimmer, flickering through the violet air. Not quite light, not quite shadow. It pulses in rhythm with the signal that led you here. Instinct says meteorological anomaly. Soul says watcher. The figure, if it can be called that, stretches and contracts like a living aurora. Limbs rearranging in silent pulses. A being woven from glitch and glow. It drifts toward your landing site. Neither drifting nor stepping, simply appearing closer. You stand at the edge of the ramp, hesitant. Boots touching alien dust that crunches like powdered bone. The ground is smooth, too smooth as if oceans once flowed. Then we're ordered to forget they ever existed. The entity halts, pulsing softly, like it's breathing through light. No mouth, no eyes, yet it speaks. Not in words, but in impressions. You returned. The meaning slithers into your mind, uninvited. You want to deny it. How can one return to a place never known? But something deeper quivers in agreement. A surge of images floods you. Towering spires, beings of crystal and flame, laughter that sounded like chimes. Then ruin, fire without smoke, silence swallowing stars. You stagger, clutching your temple. The entity dims, as if apologizing. A guide, not an enemy. A shape looms beyond the haze, ruins, perhaps, or a city sculpted from memory. The being extends a limb of flickering particles, gesturing without a hand. Come, not command. Invitation, a sudden gust cold, wrong sweeps past. though the air remains still. Something else is here, hiding behind stillness, watching, waiting. You step forward. The planet does not greet you. It judges. A whisper brushes your ear. Though no one is there, do not wake what sleeps beneath. And yet, you continue. You follow the flickering guide into the shrouded expanse, where the haze thins just enough to reveal silhouette structures rising like fossilized thoughts. The city isn't ruined by time, it looks paused, as though mid-sentence. Towering spires of translucent crystal arch into the air, hollow at their cores, shimming faintly with each step you take. Though no wind breathes here, it feels like walking through the vocal cords of something vast and sleeping. You almost whisper an apology, unsure why. Your boots crunch over a surface finely etched to be natural geometric spirals, carved into the ground, each line precise, intersecting like constellations rearranged into a language. The guide pauses beside one, its form flickering in sympathy with the grooves. Names, the impression hums through your mind. They named themselves to be remembered. You kneel, tracing a line with your glove. The crystal hum deepens, as if responding. A whisper blooms in your head, someone laughing, someone crying, then vanishes. The name is gone. Above, hollow towers resonate with soft, tonal vibrations, voices without bodies. It feels like standing in a cathedral made of abandoned songs. You crack a joke under your breath, something about bad acoustics in alien churches. But your voice comes out thin, borrowed. The city is listening. A sudden movement catches your eye. In a high archway, a figure lingers, a child-sized shape with elongated limbs and an oval head, eyes like obsidian marbles. It watches motionless. You blink, and it's gone. The guide dims, as though uneasy. Echoes, it projects. Some did not leave. Deeper into the city, you find a plaza centered by a wide, black well. You peer in, no bottom, only a darkness that feels awake. A vibration crawls up your spine, like someone whispering your name from far below. You take a step back. A memory not your own surfaces. This well once overflowed with light. The guide pulses urgently, urging you onward. But before you leave, a voice not inside, but spoken slips through the air behind you. Bring them back. You whirl, nothing. Only empty arches and endless hush. The hollow city is not empty. It grieves. It remembers. And worst of all, it knows you. You leave behind the silent plaza and its hungry well, guided now by the flickering entity whose form stretches thinner with each pulse, as though crossing into this district burdens it. The crystalline architecture melts away into unfamiliar terrain, gleaming pathways overgrown with tendrils of soft, bioluminescent flora. A forest, but not one born of soil. These trees are translucent, pulsing softly like organs dreaming. Their branches bend toward you, curious, dripping with light. You hesitate, waiting for the guide to speak, but instead, the forest answers. When you think beautiful, the leaves shimmer rose gold. When you fear trap, the glow dims to bruised blue. You test it with something absurd. I could really use a sandwich. A single vine curls into a spiral, unimpressed. Great, even psychic plants have standards. The ground beneath your boots feels unsettlingly warm, almost like skin. With every step, the colors shift in rippling waves, echoing something deeper than emotion, memory. But not yours. The gardens remember, your guide projects, its tone thin. They learned to dream when we forgot. You move through a corridor of arched roots, each one etched with symbols like those in the Crystal City. But here, some glow faintly. You touch one and a vision lashes out. A feast in this very grove, beings of light and metal gathered, laughter ringing like bells. Then a tremor, a tearing. The joy shatters, silence. You jerk back with a gasp. The tree flickers sympathetically, leaves trembling. It saw you. It mourned with you, a rustle, not from branches beneath them. Something stirs among the glowing roots. Pale shapes, half-formed, like unfinished creatures. Limbs without symmetry. Faces without features. They crawl aimlessly, reaching toward your warmth. Your guide flares with sudden alarm. Do not answer them. But one stops, head tilting, as if listening to a name it almost remembers. The air thickens. The garden's lights begin to pulse faster and urgent, uneven heartbeat. You sense a presence deeper within, ancient and boundless. The gardener, perhaps the dreamer whose slumber birthed this place. A final warning seeps into your thoughts. They shaped life to hold memory. Then life remembered too much. The vines overhead twist, forming an archway. It leads onward deeper. You swallow. The garden wants you to see more, to know more, and that is the danger, because knowledge never arrives alone. The garden releases you reluctantly, vines parting in slow, mournful waves as you step through the arch of living light. Ahead, the terrain shifts again, hardening into smooth alloy plains that gleam with a dull metallic sheen. A vast shadow rises on the horizon, colossal, motionless, humanoid. Even before you reach it, you feel the pressure of its presence. Ancient and judging, like a monument built not to honor, but to warn. It sits upon a throne fused to the earth, a titan of gears and seamless plates, hands resting on its knees. Its face, if it ever had one, has corroded into a featureless mask, yet you sense eyes beneath, unblinking, patient. Your guide dims sharply, almost flickering out. It wakes for those who seek answers. It warns. It tests truth. You draw closer, every instinct screaming to turn back. But something greater presses you onward. The planet is alive, yes, but this is its memory made flesh. The titan moves, not with sound, not with spectacle. Its head shifts a fraction, grinding metal on metal. Yet the silence remains absolute. A whisper slithers through your skull, cold and metallic. What remains when time forgets? Your throat tightens. You answer without speaking memory. You're not sure if it's your thought or something it placed there. The titan lifts one arm, a finger extending toward a fracture in its chest. Within the gap, gears still tick slow, laborious, like a dying heartbeat. And then, a riddle, crushing in its simplicity. Why preserve what must end? Visions strike you, cataclysms, collapsing suns, empires dissolving into dust. The forgotten planet's people, faces obscured by brilliance, choosing to lock their world outside time, to save their legacy, to imprison their grief. You force a whisper, because forgetting is a second death. The titan stills, a pause. Then, impossibly, it bows. But the gesture is not approval, it is mourning. A shudder trembles through the alloy plane. The titan's inner gears accelerate, a labored awakening. From its spine, shapes begin to descend, tiny automata, like silver insects, swarming toward you. Not to harm, to examine, to record. One crawls up your arm, cold and delicate. It projects a final message from the Colossus. To remember is to bear the weight. Your guide surges back, urgent, leave, now. The ground splits behind the titan, revealing a staircase spiraling downward into pulsing darkness. This trial is only the beginning. You descend. The staircase spirals deep into the planet's marrow, walls shifting from metal to something neither stone nor flesh, a living archive. The luminescence here is soft and amber, pulsing like a heartbeat. Your guide drifts close, light flickering unevenly, as though proximity to this place unravels it. They stored what they could not bear to speak. It whispers into your thoughts. Words became burdens, so they made them live. At the base of the descent, a vast chamber opens, an impossible library. No shelves, no pages. Instead, towering pillars of membranous material, each gently undulating, filled with symbols that ripple like ink dropped in water. You step closer to one and nearly recoil. The pillar breathes. The script writhes. Every fragment of knowledge here is alive. A thread of curiosity and maybe poor judgment pulls you to lay your palm against it. Instantly, the world fractures. You are someone else, a child of light, racing through crystalline corridors. Laughter like silver bells. Lessons of stars, of building harmony in orbit with eternity. But there's fear to rumors of a coming silence, of something vast approaching. A decision, an experiment, a forbidden attempt to chain time itself. You tear your hand away. The pillar quivers as though disappointed. You mutter a shaky joke. Next time, I'll just get an e-book. The library does not laugh. Your guide pulses softly, weakened. They tried to anchor memory so it would never drift. But memory grows, learns, hungers. You glance deeper into the chamber, where some pillars lie twisted, blackened, symbols screaming in tangled knots. Corrupted knowledge, still breathing. You shudder. A low moan winds through the hall, not ghostly, but intellectual agony. Then movement. A figure emerges between the living columns, a librarian, or what remains of one. Tall, robed in layered papyrus-like skin, eyes sealed with golden bands. It carries no book. It is a book. Seeker, it speaks, not aloud but upon the page of your mind. Will you witness the fall, or will you carry it? It extends a hand, palm-inked with swirling script. A choice, acceptance, or refusal. To refuse may anger it. To accept may brand you forever. Your guide quivers, nearly collapsing. Do not let them write you, but your pulse answers before reason. You place your hand upon the living script. A fire of knowledge ignites behind your eyes. The librarian leans close. Voice a whisper carved from sorrow. Now you will remember for us. The world tilts. And somewhere, something begins to wake. When the blaze of knowledge subsides, you find yourself standing before a new threshold arched not in stone or metal, but in liquid suspended mid-motion. It ripples horizontally, a horizontal veil of silver-black fluid, neither falling nor still. Your guide lingers behind, dim to a trembling filament. Beyond lies the sea, it murmurs, not of water, of reflection. You step through. A vast expanse opens before you, an endless ocean of mirrored liquid stretching into darkness. Waves slide without sound, reflecting not stars, but shifting faces, yours and not yours. The air tastes of ozone and old regret. Here, the sky is absent, only horizon. A narrow obsidian path cuts across the surface, inviting you forward. Each step sends tremors through the mirror sea, and with every tremor, the reflections change. You see yourself as a child, chasing fireflies. Then older, eyes hardened, shoulders bowed. Another wearing a crown of silver thorns, gaze hollow. You laugh nervously. I didn't pack this many identities. The sea does not laugh. Midway across, something surfaces. A figure, born of the liquid, sculpted in your exact likeness, except its eyes are empty voids. It tilts its head. You ask, are you memory? No reply. Instead, it raises a hand, palm upward. In it rests a shard of crystal, pulsing faintly. Your reflection guide, if such it is, presses the shard into your chest. Not piercing, but embedding. You gasp. Inside your mind, countless paths branch, lives you could live, lives you abandon. Lives never meant for you, but possible nonetheless. You are not one story, a voice hums. You are the sum of choices unmade. Then, another presence. A second figure rises, not you, yet hauntingly familiar. Taller, cloaked. A version carved not by decisions but by surrender. This one does not offer. It demands. Its whisper slithers. Choose which self will return. The remembering, or the forgetting. The path trembles beneath you. Behind, your guide flickers in alarm. Do not linger. The sea will keep what stares too long. You step back, heart pounding, clutching the unseen shard now fused to your being. The mirror figures dissolve, retreating into the abyss. As you near the edge, one last reflection surfaces, swift, fleeting. A city burning, the forgotten planet screaming without sound, and above it, a figure of light. Turning away, you stumble free of the sea. You realize, with cold certainty, this world is not asking to be found. It is asking to be forgiven. You emerge from the sea of mirrors with the shard still pulsing quietly in your chest, like a second heart beating to an ancient rhythm. Your guide waits, but barely, its form frayed, dimming at the edges like a candle trapped in windless air. They will see you now, it whispers. The ones who were never born, yet remember everything. Before you rises an amphitheater carved into obsidian cliffs. Its seats not empty, but filled with silhouettes of impossible beings. Not flesh, not light. Stars coalesced into form, some vaguely humanoid. Others spiraling like galaxies glimpsed through a telescope. They do not move. They only regard. You feel as though you've stepped into a court older than choice itself. At the center stands a daze, smooth as frozen night. You take your place upon it, shaky knees threatening betrayal. A single figure detaches from the multitude, descending. A star wearing the illusion of a cloak. When it speaks, it is not a voice but the soft hum of celestial birth. You carry memory. You nod, though it feels inadequate. A ripple passes through the council, some approving, some recoiling. Another voice follows, colder. This planet was removed for a reason. Images spill into your mind, drifts, splitting reality. Knowledge devouring sanity. A civilization begging cosmos for mercy. They ask to be forgotten. A third presence looms, neither approving nor condemning. Will you return them to time, or let silence keep its promise? Your pulse races. You manage a fragile jest. I didn't realize this trip came with a moral exam. The chamber does not laugh, but one distant figure flickers, almost amused. The council shifts, light warping. They show you futures. If remembered, the world may awaken reborn or wrathful. If buried, its last dreamers remain sealed forever, their legacy sealed beneath grief. Memory is power, they warn. And power seeks hands. Your guide drifts beside you, weaker now. Choose carefully. Even silence echoes. Around you, the unborn stars lean forward, not impatient, but eternal. In this place, decisions are not fleeting. They become laws. You feel the shard within tremble, awaiting judgment. You inhale. The answer forms not in words, but in resolve. Before you speak, one final figure appears at the amphitheater's crest, a being made of fractures, like broken glass holding starlight. It bows slightly. We were the last to remember joy. Its presence lingers, aching. Then vanishes. You stand alone before the cosmos' oldest jury. Your choice will wake the planet, or bury it deeper than time. The council fades like a constellation turning its face, leaving only stillness and the echo of your unspoken choice. Yet they have not vanished, only withdrawn, waiting. The shard in your chest pulses, demanding decision. Your guide flickers close, but says nothing. This moment cannot be guided, only met. You stand on the threshold once more, where obsidian meets shifting dusk. The forgotten planet breathes around you, soft, hesitant. In the distance, beyond the silent city and dreaming gardens, a cleft in the earth yawns open. A rift, the place where memory and oblivion divide. You walk toward it, each step accompanied by an unseen heartbeat that matches your own. The rift is vast, a wound in the world, pulsing with light and shadow. Above it, fragments of broken sky orbit slowly, ruins of constellations that no longer exist. Within the fissure, you see visions, the planet's people, radiant and fierce, wielding science like poetry. Then their faces twisted by grief, choosing exile from time rather than watch themselves fade. We chose to disappear, a voice murmurs, brittle with sorrow. Will you make us return? The air trembles. Your own reflection appears on the rift's surface, but it is the version from the sea, the one with hollow eyes. It reaches toward you, lips forming silent words. To remember is to suffer. Another reflection rises calm, crowned in light. To forget is to betray. Your knees weaken under the weight of justice. You attempt a joke. No one mentioned I'd be the universe's therapist, but it fractures halfway, swallowed by the chasm. Your laughter is not answered. The guide, frail as moonlight, speaks at last. Both choices wound. It touches the shard within you, but one wound leads to healing, the other to numbness. Your decision ripples through your bones. You kneel at the rift's edge, pressing your palm to its trembling surface. You do not command rebirth, nor declare eternal silence. You choose remembrance with mercy, to carry their story not as burden, but as warning, as wonder. The rift inhales, a low, resonant tone rolls through the planet, not awakening, not rage, recognition. The sky fractures, not in ruin, but revelation. Towers crack their hush, gardens shiver in new colors. The hollow well exhales a single plume of light. The planet does not rise. It breathes. Your guide, now flickering to near extinction, leans close. You have given us back our name. A final pulse. Thank you. Then it dissipates. Freed. You are alone. But the world is no longer silent. It remembers. You remain at the rift's edge as the world exhales its first true breath in ages. The air, once heavy with stillness, now quivers with the faintest tremor of awakening. No thunder, no spectacle, just a hush shifting into heartbeat. The towers of the silent city emit faint tones, hesitant notes of a forgotten symphony. The gardens, in their dreaming glow, pulse in gentle hues of rose and amber. The planet does not roar back to life. It listens. You rise, uncertain whether you belong to this new memory or remain a trespasser. In the polished obsidian around you, faint figures take shape, echoes of those who once lived here. Not fully formed, not alive, but silhouettes of yearning. Some bow their heads, others lift faces skyward, as though tasting time for the first time in millennia. In the distance, the great colossus shifts upon its throne. The gears in its chest turn with new patience, not urgency. As though it has been told, you are not forgotten. A low hum radiates through the alloy planes, neither mechanical nor musical, but reverent. Something moves near your feet. A small creature, no larger than a curled hand, half-formed, born from the garden's dreaming roots. It blinks with liquid eyes and presses its forehead gently to your boot. You crouch, offering your palm. It leans into your warmth and dissolves into light. Not dying, returning. The planet is not reborn. It remembers itself. A ripple runs beneath the surface, a tremor that feels like gratitude. In your chest, the shard glows once, then stills. Not fading, settling. You are now a bearer, a custodian of a story once erased. Above, the sky once empty begins to reveal stars. But they are unfamiliar constellations. New patterns, forming slowly, as though charted by unseen hands. Perhaps by those who once danced beneath them. Perhaps by you, a voice not external, but carried within the shard whispers of final truth. We do not ask to be restored, only to be remembered. You nod, tears pricking unexpectedly. You do not promise eternity. You promise honesty. You open a channel to your ship. Its static crackle feels alien now. The universe awaits outside, loud and bright and forgetful. You turn once more to the horizon where light gathers like dawn. You speak softly. To no one and to all, I will tell them. And for a moment, just a glimmer, you hear laughter, the kind once woven into starlight. So you stand very still, letting the last tremors of this world quiet inside you. Your breaths grow long, like tides withdrawing. The pulse of the planet slows, no longer pleading, only resting. The skies, painted with newborn constellations, fade into gentler hues, lavender melting into silver. Every shape, every echo softens, as though tucking itself beneath a warm veil. It is not your mission now to unravel more, nor to question further. The hardest choice has been made, and the rest belongs to time. Your heartbeat steadies, aligning with something wiser, something older. You do not feel like an intruder anymore. You feel like someone who witnessed a sorrow without turning away. The echoes in the distance, those hollow voices that once clung to silence, drift now like lullabies. Not haunting, healing. They do not seek answers, only remembrance. There's a tenderness here you hadn't expected, hidden beneath all that ruin, like a candle still burning after the feast has long ended. Your thoughts, once tangled with fear and wonder, settle into quiet clarity. You know you cannot remain. To linger would be to disturb the fragile patience this world has reclaimed. But you depart knowing it will not vanish again, because it lives now, not in maps or data, but within the living pulse of your own memory. You step back from the rift, feeling its hush accept your leave. Nothing pursues you. No farewell is spoken. There is nothing left to say. Only a final, breath-like stillness that wraps around you like a soft night. When your ship lifts away, you do not look back. You don't need to. The forgotten planet has already taken its place in the constellation behind your eyes, and gently, quietly, you return to the stars.